Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Chuck, and I'm coming to you from my van, as you can tell. And it's Saturday, January 14th, and figured I'd bring you up to date a little bit on some of the van plans. I mentioned in an earlier video, although not very many, it didn't get very many views, so most of you probably didn't know, but my next trip after the Aho trip was going to be a van trip. And I like to get out by myself every once in a while. And I jokingly say I want to go off and be van boy for a while. And I was planning on going to Quartzsite for the RTR. Well, the RTR, in case those of you that aren't familiar with that, that's the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. And what that is a gathering of nomad people. And it's run by a kind of a charismatic guy by the name of Bob Wells. And Bob's YouTube channel is Cheap RV Living, if you haven't seen it. And the RTR brings people together from all walks of life and basically traveling nomads. And a lot of them are a lot of them are in vans, but also there's all kinds of different configurations of vehicles that people live in. And the school bus people will be there, and the people that convert bread trucks and ambulances and all that kind of stuff are there. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, that's really the place to be. Well, the RTR actually started yesterday, and I was planning on going, but I have a doctor's appointment next Tuesday, so I was going to leave Wednesday and go over there. And anyway, the RTR was from the 13th through the 20th. So I was going to go over there for a couple of days. And then right after the RTR, from the 21st through the 31st, is another gathering of nomads that's known as Skooliepalooza. And that one's actually over in Ehrenberg. And Ehrenberg is about 15 miles west of Quartzsite. It's right on the California line across from Blythe, California, if you're not familiar with it. But Skooliepalooza, of course, is aimed more at the schoolie community, the people that convert buses. And I've been fascinated with that for quite a while. I've been to Skooliepalooza before, and there's some really fascinating vehicles there to look at, and fascinating people and interesting stories. Sometimes a bit more of a party atmosphere for me, but that's okay. I can put up with that for a little while, but anyway, I planned to leave on Wednesday and go over to the RTR for a couple of days, and then go from there out to Ehrenberg and go to Skooliepalooza for a couple of days, and then come home. And I got another doctor's appointment next week. And it's kind of crazy when we get older. It seems like our life kind of starts revolving around doctor's appointments, and I hate that. I absolutely hate it, but there's nothing I can do about it. But anyway, and then along comes Mother Nature, and you've all been watching the weather in California about the atmospheric rivers, they're calling it. Well, they're going to pay us a visit here, starting tonight, and we're supposed to get about an inch and a half of rain tonight. It's supposed to turn to snow, and they're predicting here by Tuesday afternoon, they're predicting up to maybe over a foot of snow. Well, I'm not going to go off and let my wife here by herself in a foot of snow without shoveling the driveway and all this kind of stuff. And the other thing, looking at the weather forecast over in the Quartzsite Ehrenberg area, is it looks like it's going to be pretty darn cold over there too. Usually it's pretty nice there. It's usually this time of year, high 60s, low 70s, and 50s at night. And it's very, very pleasant for camping, but they're going to have a cold snap over there as well. It's going to be in the 50s during the day and down around freezing at night. And that's just, for me anyway, with my setup, that's just not a whole lot of fun. So I decided to change my plans. I'm going to stay home and be a good boy and take care of my wife and shovel the driveway and do all that kind of stuff. And there's always going to be another time. The last time I actually went to the RTR, believe it or not, was 5 years ago. I went in 2018. I actually did stop by real briefly in 2019. I was actually there for another event. And then 2020, of course, they didn't have one because of COVID. And then they changed the format. And what's happened with a lot of these events, and the RTR's been that way, Skooliepalooza's been that way, and There was another one. It was called Jamie's Van Build with the Jamie from Enigmatic Nomadics. All of those events, what they ended up doing is they ended up being victims of their own success. They all got so large that eventually they couldn't be a little intimate gathering of friends type of thing. So they're all on BLM land, and so BLM started making them get permits and putting requirements on it for trash pickup and porta potties and insurance and all this kind of stuff. And since the intent was to keep these things as free events, obviously the sponsors of it couldn't stand the expense, and so they've ended up one by one closing down. It's kind of a shame, but I can understand. I can see both sides of that issue. So anyway, I'm going to be staying home, and I actually was getting in the process of getting the van ready. And before I go today, I'll tell you that I shot a video here a while back about a roof leak I had. And now we've had 2 or 3 rainstorms, and we've had a couple of snowstorms, about 6 inches of snow on top of the van. And so far, my repair hasn't leaked, which has been a good thing. The only other thing that's happened that's kind of funny is all the years I've had this van, it's the chair I'm sitting in is the passenger seat, and it swivels. And I'd always had to drive with it in the forward position because I couldn't see the mirror when it was turned around. And so I got to looking at it here, I don't know, a few days ago, and realized that there was something on the track that was keeping it from going all the way back. And so I fiddled with it, and I got it all the way back, and now it actually, in the reverse position, because I'm facing the rear of the van right now, so putting the seat back actually makes it go further forward. Now it goes all the way to the dash. It gained me about 3 inches, and now I can leave it in this position and see the mirror perfectly well. It's funny that I didn't notice that before all the years I've had the van, but that's really been about the only thing that's really changed. Other than that, the van's the same as it's been during the van tours. So I'm going to call this a van stuff video. I'll let you go for now, but I hated to change my plans. I was really looking forward to going there. I haven't gone off to be van boy in a long time, and hopefully this summer or this spring will be a little bit better. So for right now, I'm going to let you go. As I always say, love each other, take care of each other, enjoy life. Life is great, and we'll catch you on another one up here pretty quick. Bye-bye now.